It just ends abruptly. Hello, everyone. Oh my god. I hope you're ready for a 92-hour long stream because that's what's coming up, I think. There's a lot to talk about this week. And I had nothing. I had nothing yesterday. I sent out a fucking YouTube message. I'm like, hey guys, if you guys want to send me some funny stories that you have about internet shit, go ahead, because fuck it. There's nothing to talk about. Besides Ralph, who I'll talk about, but oh god, can you imagine an entire stream just dedicated to fucking Ralph? What a miserable miserable Friday that would be. It's like, oh shit, I gotta pull the fucking bungee cord here. I gotta figure out some way to pad an hour or two. So I asked people to send me some stories, and I'll get to them because I said I would. And I got a lot, but I'll read my favorites, at least the ones that I can succinctly describe to people with minimal effort. That's funny to me. But, geez, immediately after I said that, I woke up the same day, or sorry, I sent this out on Wednesday. I woke up on Thursday, and I thought, like, what? There's a new feature, which is rare, because it's like, I usually feature everything, and mods will ask me, like, hey, do you think that this is feature worthy? And I'll say, yeah, sure, why not? This time I wake up to a feature, which is rare. So the mod, I in my infinite wisdom, when I made the feature system, I didn't add any kind of logging. So whoever features something, it's an honor system between the Jannies right now as to who features what. So I have no idea who decided to do it. But I wake up and I just see Lowtax might be dead. And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't feature that. So and I look into it and say, yeah, sure enough, it was in 1 hour. Less than 1 hour after the news breaks that Lowtax might be dead, we have about 100 times more credible and reliable information verifying that Lowtax is probably dead than we have gotten in like 6 months since Bu has died, which just goes to show you how fucking bullshit that is. Actually, right here on my desk chat is an urn that says Richard Kyanka. I have it right here. Wait. See, that's my urn. I'll take a picture later. It just says Lowtax on it with his the year he was born and the year he died, and I got that in the mail as his most trusted colleague, and so 100% we know for a fact that he's dead. Yeah, I'll get to all that. I don't want to spoil anything. Spoiler alert: Lowtax is dead. There's some more to that. Some stuff has come out that's worth going into. It is now time to talk about Lowtax, who is fucking dead. In case you do not know, Richard Lowtax Kyanka, founder of Something Awful, is dead at 45, reports Vice News. We also reported it. It came from a video I'm not going to play. It's an old Something Awful guy. He's astoundingly Jewish looking, which is why it's not surprising at all when he tries to tell a story to make Lowtax seem like a humble, nice, relatable guy. And you know what? Fuck it. I'll just play the story. Hold up. I really love this story from this guy.
But she was an infant at the time. And we were coming back from a Royals game, probably. We're in the parking lot searching for the car. And his daughter goes, oh, Daddy, I need to pee or whatever. And Riches tries to get her into a porta potty. She didn't want to do it. And then, of course, not surprisingly, while riding on Rich's arms, I mean, it's not his arms, his shoulders. How could I confuse the body parts? I'm in mourning. So anyways, while she was, riding on Rich's shoulders, an accident. And it went all over the place. And, just liquid dripping off his shirt, and his daughter was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, and Rich didn't even yelp with disgust as I surely would. He didn't make her feel bad. He didn't get mad. He just said, that's all right. And was just like, don't worry about it, cleaned her up, put her in the car, and took her home like any good dad would.
Grief manifests in strange. I don't know. I notice a trend now where Jewish people really like pee pee poo poo, and they bring it up, and it's like that's his eulogy. That's his breaking the news to people that Lowtax is dead. What does he go for? Very relatable pee pee poo poo story. Like, do you have something else? Don't you have something else where something cute happened and there's no pee pee poo poo involved? Why does it gotta be pee pee poo poo involved, my dude? Why has it gotta be like this? Like, I'm sure shit happens when you're a parent, but that's not the story you tell. When they die, you tell a nicer story that doesn't have any piss or shit in it. It's just I don't know, maybe I'm the weirdo on that one. Yeah, Rich had 2 kids. Lady Ambien is one, and I've actually talked to Lady Ambien a while back. Just to kind of lay this out, I knew Lowtax very briefly. He was a user on the forum for a week. Because what happened is, I'll lay this out before I go into the story of his death, I guess. What happened is that there's a guy called Shmorky. I did a stream on Shmorky. Go watch it if you're interested. He is a pedophile diaper fur, but nobody knew that. Before he was a pedophile diaper fur, he was someone who drew art. And a lot of really, really old, really famous memes came out of Shmorky drawings, such as oh, this is awful quality.
How is baby formed? How girl get pregnant? They need to do weigh in stain mother. Who kill their babies because these baby can't fricks back?
You get it. That's Shmorky. There's a lot of them. There's also Flip Top Box, which I'm really a fan of. I think this was animated by Shmorky too.
I'm a guy who likes to work on my car. I like to take it apart and put it back together.
If you remember these things, Shmorky made them. Shmorky was an animator for Something Awful, and it came out years and years after Something Awful was relevant that Shmorky was a pee-pee-poo-poo diaper fetishist pedophile who tried to... I think he groomed... It's been a while since I did that stream, but I think he was grooming someone. And he got canceled, and Something Awful was up in arms. Problem is, for a while... Shmorky had been transitioning to a non-binary, and they had a really, really... Oh god, this is going to turn into like a miniature Shmorky stream. I have to play it. I have to play an audio for you guys. But before we do that, let me just explain. He was transitioning to a gender blob. He had this awful falsetto going on, and when he was outed, Lowtax didn't know what to do, but he was outed through the Kiwi Farms, I'm pretty sure. So Lowtax joined to talk about... what had happened. And there were some things that happened on the forum. In particular, he realized that the forum was being very funny about it, and Something Awful was not. Something Awful was tied up in gender issues, and people were saying, just because Shmorky's a pee-pee-poo-poo fetishist, child predator, doesn't mean you should dead name them, guys. Come on, let's be progressive. Let's not be heteronormative, cis transphobic, guys. And Lowtax is like, wait, this is actually really gay. This is really gay. And he for a brief moment, for a very brief moment, he wanted to change Something Awful. He like fired mods. I talked to him and Lady Ambien and like Google Hangouts and stuff, and I was trying to say like, okay, well, here's what you would do. And in fact, I pitched to him that I would help upgrade his fucking site from whatever nightmare it's running on to Zinforo, which is what they wanted to transition to, and I would do it for like 20,000. Like, I think they got offered 20,000, so I pitched like 15,000 or something. It's like, I'm sure I could have done it. And he turned me down because the people who were on Something Awful at the time did not like him, or did not like us, rather. Sorry, I'm still trying to find something. And they said, no, you can't be associated with the Kiwi Farms in any way, and they threw a fit. So he just gave up. He literally crashed into slumber. He took a bunch of his anti-pain pills and crashed on the bed. And Lady Ambien was super frustrated, but she said that's just what he does. He avoids all his fucking problems, and that's about it. And he can't be compelled to do anything. If I cannot find this call, I'm gonna be super, super fucking pissed. Oh God. Okay, I need your guys' help. I'm looking at the internet famous chat on the forum. If you can find the Mandy Schmorky call, please God, get that and send it to me, because I need to play this for people who are uninitiated. But I'll continue with Lowtax for right now. So that was my interaction with him, and I always found it very sad. I really wanted to help him. I had some ideas of how he could make something awful fun again. I really needed money at the time, so I was kind of pissed that he refused my offer, and his wife was very distraught. And they soon divorced, actually. There was a domestic violence incident that she alleged, and it resulted in a custody battle, which ultimately lasted as long as the rest of his life did. He died the day of the announcement of how that case was going to end. Some civilian sent it to me. Okay. Okay, this is it. Oh, bass, thank you. The squeaky voice is Schmorky. The non-squeaky psychotic voice is his girlfriend, who is like a schizophrenic, who currently waves between, I want to say she wavers between like Scientology and Judaism, and is just a crazy, crazy lady.
Do you love me or not? Do you want to protect me or not? Because I already said I wasn't going to do anything.
Please don't touch me again, please.
I won't. I'll never touch you again, okay? I'll never touch you again. I'll just do what you want. What do you want me to do? I'll do whatever you want. What do you want from me?
Stop screaming and pretending.
I'm not pretending!
I'm...
What do you want from me? What?
What do you want from me?
I just want you to tell me what you want from me.
What do you want
What
from
do you want
me?
from me?
No. You're the one that's doing this right
I
now.
just want you to just tell me if you love me or not, or if you're in on this or not.
In on what? Tell me.
What they're doing to me.
Tell me what I have to say.
My parents.
Yes?
Are you controlling me for them?
No.
Well, there's nothing I can do anyway, so it doesn't matter. So even if you were, you won anyway. Even if you're not, you win, okay? Doesn't matter, because there's nothing I can do about any of these people. Okay? That's why I said I wasn't gonna do anything. That's why I said I was gonna go to the cops. I just said they won. I told them that they won.
Okay?
I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight back. I can't fight back. Okay? If Hitler himself came here, he wouldn't be able to save me, alright? Nothing. Jim Howe, they're unbeatable. They're unstoppable. There is no answer. There is no answer to the Jewish question because they always win. They always win, and they're mine, and I'm theirs. And there's nothing I can do about it ever. Nothing anyone can. Not Roger Waters. God himself can't stop these people. They won. They always win. And I'm not gonna fight anymore either. Because they won. They always do. There's no point in ever fighting anything. Because you can never win. So I'm not gonna...
So I'll pause it there. If you want the full thing, you have to go to watch the Smorky stream. It's one of my favorites. I really was invested because I didn't know anything about Something Awful. And this all came at me, and I was learning a lot. And there was all these people from Something Awful joining the forum at the time to talk about it. Lowtax was on the forum to talk about it. Someone I knew of, but I never knew anything about. And it was just. I really had hope for this guy. I really thought like this would be it. He would update his site. I would help him. I would tell him this is what you should do for moderation. And he would take the reins and be like, yeah, actually, I do run this fucking place. This is my site. I'm not going to take a back seat to my site and let these freaks ruin it for me. I'm not going to sit here and pop pills and drink wine and beat my wife while these lunatics that you just heard run my site for me. Why would I do that? And that's why, I personally have resolved, if I ever lost interest in the site, I would just pass it on. I would host the full archive of everything on it. I would purge all the user information and stuff, and I would just give it out as like a torrent and be like, make your own shit, have fun with it, do something crazy. I want to hear about you doing something that you got arrested for after hosting the site for a couple of years. I want some crazy shit to come out of this. But I would never, ever in a million years resign myself to sitting there and letting other people do things for me, which is why I end up pissing off a lot of people who have different ideas of how things should be ran. But I realize that I'm not always completely fair, but I try my best, and I try to keep things fun, because I assume if it's fun for me, it's fun for a lot of other people too, right? Anyways, point is, that was his last chance, really, at fixing himself. If this guy who he had known for years, if this guy who he had let meet his children was now this freak, and he wasn't even allowed to like process this on his own site after it came out because people were so wrapped up in pronouns. If that wouldn't be a motivation enough to fix things, nothing ever would be. And that was true. Nothing ever was. After that, his life just got worse. He tried, he immediately reconciled with his mods. He gave in to their demands. He promoted everyone who he had demodded by himself. He reinstated them. He took the back seat again. And he literally lost his wife and kid over this. And then the next year, I want to say, it's hard to say. I want to say it's the next year. He meets this. Actually, no. This is 2017 or 2016 even. This is a long time ago. I'm actually shocked. Anyways. At some point after Lady Ambien, he hooks up with Logan Day. And I want to say this is either 2020 or 2019. And Logan is quintessential BPD LA trash. And I spoke to her, so I really shouldn't be too mean. She was nice to me, but whatever. She's BPD. She admits it. She falls back on mental illness a lot as a crutch, and I was not very amused by this during our conversation. And in Lowtax, I don't know if he was just rebounding or what the fuck he was trying to do, but after he got hooked up with this chick and he tried to make her like an executive producer of something awful or whatever the fuck, he just completely lost it. And then she predictably ruined him by saying that he was like an abusive pill popping psychopath that would beat the fuck out of her and shit, and he just lost it. He lost everything immediately because he made a series of bad decisions that were always the ones that would require the least effort. And I'm pretty sure the farms will be overrun by troons. They've tried, my friend. I don't know why people think this. I don't know why people think there are so many trannies on the site. Trust me, there's not. There's none on the admins, the moderation side that I know of either. It's like a poll meme that people keep thinking is true because they don't use the site. But meets this woman, loses the site, ends up selling it, and then in the process between selling something awful and his case ending, he literally squanders every penny of it. He squanders all of the money that he made selling something awful. I think he does like mobile gacha games. He does pills. He does, he eats out like gourmet takeout food all the time. The meme was gold belly pies that are like $50 pies or some shit. He literally squanders it. And then I've been subscribed to this, by the way. I was on the Missouri court subscription list so that anytime anything happened with his case docket, I would get a notice for it. And I did. I got an email from Missouri saying that the case had gone to trial and it was settled. And I'm thinking like, okay, so I guess this is it. I guess it's over. And then the same day he's dead, because apparently what the judge had found is that he had intentionally squandered what money he had, and they were going to force him to give up his savings to her to pay for child support, and he would owe child support for the remainder of the child's childhood, and he would owe attorney's fees. It would be he would lose everything. He'd be back at square one at like however old he is, 40 something, and he just couldn't handle it. And I think he had been planning to die for a while because he mentioned it. He mentioned it in a couple places, and he even said so in Discord, like goodbye everybody. And then he shot himself, and his ex-wife explains it as such. She says, child support sucks pretty hard. I'm pretty sure he cheated on her with that Logan chick, by the way. It's like, I don't know. Don't stick your dick in crazy. Don't cheat on women. Don't become a libertarian and have half Asian kids. Like, don't do these things. It's very simple, I think, to avoid these kinds of problems. But she says, I've been sitting for hours debating whether or not to disclose this, and I feel like it's something I need to do to get off my chest. Frankly, I'm tired of being quiet. I mostly had to stay quiet for years. About things happening behind the scenes. I've held things inside so long and so hard, my chest physically hurt the same way it is now. I've considered not sharing this out of respect for Rich's parents and sister, but after thinking on the incredibly vitriolic wall of text Rich's mother sent me this morning, saying many things, upon many things, that his blood is on my hands, I need to share it to regain some sense of control over what's taken place in the past 24 hours. So even, I feel this message is very diplomatic and it's very crafted to make people like her and feel bad for her. Like, this is SJW talk. Like, this whole, I need to regain some sense of control over what's happened. Like, I don't know, your ex shot himself. What's there to take control of besides the narrative, my friend? Yesterday, I received a divorce ruling that would help me and my daughter stay in our home in Canada and allow me to provide a good life for her, as well as pay back numerous debts that had been accrued during the past 2 years when I received $350 a month in child support. In the divorce ruling, the judge found that Rich had willfully spent down the marital fund, confirmed his treatment of me was domestic violence, and put together a plan to pay for my attorney fees. He would still retain custody settled on previously in mediation. He was due to get our daughter for Christmas. An hour later, I was contacted by my attorney who informed me that Rich had shot himself early in the morning. So there it is. His other ex and I got to tell our children that their father died without saying goodbye to them or that he loved them or, to my knowledge, left a note for them. To made it this far, thank you for giving me space to let this go so I no longer have to hold on to it. It's not Canadian courts. It was America. I just said Missouri, bro. It's the Missouri courts. It was handled by Missouri. She just happens to be Canadian. I think she's she's forced to move back because she doesn't have a reason to stay in the U.S. anymore. She literally fled to like a domestic violence shelter and everything. It's a crazy story. It's not just his money. His money was gone. His youth was gone. And his health was gone. He was a very, very serious opioid addict, and I think he was one of those people who had taken painkillers so much that any level of discomfort was agonizing to him. He just couldn't stand to be in pain at all. It was just like agonizing just to exist because he's so used to being numbed out that he couldn't take it anymore. Like, just being alive every day was a chore for him. So he killed himself. I'm like, okay, whatever. The only thing worth mentioning is I don't know what his life insurance policy is. If you're gonna if you're in a 2-year divorce settlement, I guess you should buy your insurance policy in advance. Because if you don't know this, there is a suicide clause in life insurance. I think every life insurance pays out for suicide, but there is usually a clause in it for suicide expiry. Like, you have to wait 3 years before you can kill yourself to get your insurance policy. So if he didn't even leave his daughter or anything, or his kids rather, that's a really dick move. Just learn to code. His issue is that he was spoiled sour by his mother. Because mommy always took care of everything for him. No matter what his problem was, mommy would be there to take care of it. And he never learned how to deal with anything. And I think that's why he was domestically violent as well. He doesn't know how to solve problems. He runs away from his issues. So when like his issue is like a hysterical woman chasing him around the house as he tries to like pill himself out into oblivion, and he doesn't want to confront any issues. It's like, how do you make the noise stop when you're just like retarded and you don't have any problem solving skills and you don't want to do anything? You just flail at it, I guess. You punch it, make it shut up. He had a real lack of problem solving skills, and his pill addiction certainly didn't help. So that's the gist of why he killed himself. What's interesting now is how people are going to spin it after the fact. This article by Matthew Galt, who I think I've spoken to before because he seems to know who I am, says Richard Lowtax Kyanka, this is for Vice Motherboard. Richard, founder of Something Awful, is dead at 45. He's older than I thought. Creator of error-defining Something Awful forums, died by suicide. I hate that. He killed himself. Just tell him he did it. Tell him he killed himself. On November 9th, Motherboard confirmed with Lee's Summit, Missouri Police Department. See how easy that is? He died by suicide on November 9th, and Motherboard was able to confirm it with Lee's Summit, Missouri Police Department. Wow! Isn't that simple? It's really crazy when people are actually dead that you can just call up a police department and be like, hey, Moshi, are they dead? And they're like, yes, senor. Or what do they call people in Japan? What's the word for like man? It's like senora or something. There's a sin word, whatever. Anyways, they say yes, and then you can write it in your fucking article. Senpai. So longtime Something Awful admin Fragmaster posts on the site for the first time in years to tell the community that its founder Richard Lowtax was dead. Senpai. Blah blah blah. There's goes over all the things I explained, and they talk about how much Something Awful influenced society or internet culture at least. And I even like this part. Where does it say that? He changed this a little bit, I think. But many lives were also warped and destroyed. One of the most popular forum threads on the site was Grover House, the story about a sprawling and bizarre home construction project. Goons were so hungry for more information about the strange house they doxed, spelled incorrectly, the owner, and harassed him and his family for the lulz. The targeted harassment campaigns of Kiwi Farms and 4chan were born and perfected on Something Awful before moving off the site. The internet's general interest in seeking justice via public shaming was fostered there, he says. And before this was changed a little bit, I sent a message to this guy. And I said, number one, sir, you are spelling the internet wrong. The internet is a proper noun. It is not a lowercase I. And then I said, number two, there is no relation. He said that Kiwi Farms came from Something Awful, which is just not true. Like I didn't know what Something Awful was until I was like in my late teens, early 20s. I didn't start hosting the Kiwi Farms until I was 19, and I didn't come from someone who was a goon. The only kind of direct comparison between Something Awful, and this is true, Something Awful and the Kiwi Farms is that, as many of you may know, I posted as a teenager between the ages of like 13 and 18 on a forum called Blockland Forums, and the owner of Blockland Forum was a goon. Bad Spot, whose name at this point I'm pretty sure is like a play on words of Lowtax. It's like the same kind of convention. It's Bad Spot. I'm pretty sure Bad Spot made Blockland as a project to show to goons, and then when he launched it, the goons didn't come over, and he instead got like children interested in like a brick building game that was modifiable. That's where I learned to script and do programming and stuff, was making mods for this game. But Bad Spot really fucking hated all the kids who played his game. He wished they were super cool goons from Something Awful, like EVE Online had, or Space Station. But instead it was just kids like me. And he really hated all of us. And you could tell that he really hated his audience. And that's why Blockland, even though it predates Roblox and Minecraft, it never beat them. Because those games were made for kids. And when they took off, the people who made the games continued to improve them for kids, as opposed to Bad Spot, who just moped that he didn't have a super cool goon audience that were fans of his game. So as far as inspiration for Kiwi Farms coming from something awful, that's the only link, is that the Kiwi Farms is kind of like Blockland for him, and that there's drama. So, oh, his reply to this, by the way, he said, actually, according to the AP style guide, it is lowercase I internet. The AP style book, we will lowercase internet effective June 1st, 2016, when the 2016 style book launches. AP style tip, internet. And there it is. The AP style guide says that it's a lowercase I. And I'll tell you right there, this is the second, this AP style book should be burned. It should be burned. This is bullshit. And if you're going to say I'm felted, actually, these are the same people who say that black should be proper case and white should not be. So these people, these scum of the fucking earth, have an agenda. And they're trying to make black big, white small, and the internet even smaller. That's what you have to take away from here. Fuck the AP style book. That's all I gotta say. All my homies hate the AP style book. Wait, we're all felted. Exactly. Fuck them.